Louie C. the Mayor checking in. Welcome to the podcast today. Boy, a lot of things going on in the city. Before we get to it, I want to give a shout out to FloridaKeysInjury.com. Lawyers for all accidents in the Keys. So for example, if you got hit on a moped, a bicycle, or had a car accident, call FloridaKeysInjury.com and I'll make sure they take care of you. Shout out to Mark Lyons. And Friday on the podcast, good old boy, Dr. Burrows, Advanced Urgent Care in Key West Marathon and Key Largo. Right now, I need y'all to hit these notifications right here. Notifications so you can know when we on and popping. So like that, we can get all the information out to everybody. And make sure you check our new channel out under Louie C. Rock, YouTube.com. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. So right about now on the program, we got a VIP in the building today. It's going to be big. So Miss Christina McPherson, welcome to the program. Thank you for being here. How's everything going today? You told me you had a busy day today, so what is happening?
Yes, all of our teachers and students are engaged right now at Horace O'Brien. We have 1,150 students still enrolled pre-K through 8th grade, and we're just working to make sure everyone is engaged. We're definitely, the teachers and staff are grassroots. We're still delivering art supplies and school supplies to the parents that need it. They come during the 11 to 12 lunch pickup. And so we are definitely helping out and, in some cases having to drop off supplies and activities to the parents' houses. And so, Horace O'Brien teachers started the year, or staff, we actually walked two families the Saturday before. I'd say about 80% of my staff got together and we walked the neighborhoods, and little did we know that this was going to be a year of significant challenges. So now that the teachers and staff have witnessed firsthand the challenges that these students have in their families and neighborhoods, I think it gave them a heads up now as we're working through this online virtual experience that there's some kids and some families that we need to engage on a different level.
Nice.
So it's been a busy day, busy year.
Look, you already got people checking in all the way from Marathon. I see Leo checking in, says hi, Miss McPherson. So thank you, Lewis, for checking in with us on the podcast. So some people
he was one of my former students, so that shows my age. Okay. That's a bad thing.
Okay. She ain't aged none. She's doing very well. So listen. So some people might not know anything about you. Can you just give them a little brief history about your career and stuff with the school system of Monroe County, please?
Sure. I'm actually a blessed product of the Monroe County School District. My dad came down in the 80s, and he was a Navy pilot. Oh, really? And so I went to Gerald Adams. Miss Phyllis Allen was my outstanding principal, so I was honored to have Miss Phyllis Allen as my principal out of Gerald Adams. And when I moved to HOB Middle School, Robert Walker, wonderful man, was my principal at that time. And then as I moved on to Key West High School, Tommy Roberts was
legends. You dealt with legends right there.
I'll never forget the best memory I ever had of Tommy Roberts. That man going out on the weekends, scrubbing down the old auditorium chairs so that they were polished for every one of his students.
Yeah,
amazing man.
Stuff.
And Bobby Menendez. He hired me. He was my principal, and he hired me.
And I got this listed here on the program, but I'll get to it. To me, and I don't say this just because you're here, teachers should be the highest paid profession in the world, because as we know, a lot of the teachers, the majority of them are definitely not doing it for the money, because it's a lot of work out there. So I don't know, and I always ask this question, how do we make that happen, especially in Monroe County, highest cost of living? It's very tough. So to me, that should be the highest paid profession in the world. And I appreciate, people like you that, being an indication for so long and helping children come along, because this is what's going to guide a youth person's career or whatever, and set them in a good way or in a bad way. And it's essential that these people get taken care of. So I don't know exactly how we do it, but I like to see Key West be the highest paid in the nation, in the future. I know it's tough because it's not on a local level, it's state, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that come with that. And I know you have wonderful teachers here in Monroe County. And it's been a challenge year. This has probably been obviously the most challenging year for everybody living, and everything is going pretty well there at HOB. You happy with everything and the school board and everything you guys got going on there?
Yes, we have about 95% attendance on an average day. Participation, of course, it's harder with some of our younger students, but we're doing what we can. And the teachers and staff have been outstanding. And on our highest day of volume for the lunch program, and a shout out to the school district for keeping this open, and Mr. Fagioni, is that on the highest day we fed over 648 students.
Outstanding.
So, and those are hot meals as well. So it's been, a team effort of the bus drivers helping out, the cafeteria workers. You've seen a lot of people come together to make sure that none of our children are left hungry. And so, it's been, jumping in the water and learning to swim quickly. And the students have really helped each other out too. Right. We gave out over close to 800 devices to students, and they've quickly learned how to help each other and getting online to help one another in this time as well. Outstanding.
So bottom line to me, a child should never go hungry in any school period. I don't care what the situation is, because it just should not happen. This is America, and we got to figure it out or whatever. I understand, policies and procedures, but we got to go outside the box or whatever. There's plenty of people in the community that help out, with feeding children or whatnot. And I just don't think that one child, and I'm pretty sure you agree with it, everybody deserves to eat, especially a child that's going to the school. So I think the Monroe County School Board has done an excellent job with everything, moving stuff along, because it's very challenging. As we know, we can't please everybody, but we do the best we can with what we got. So congratulations on you being named the new Key West High School principal. So we head into 2021. That must be very exciting for you, being an alumni of the school. So how does that feel?
It's exciting, and I wanted to recognize Bobby Menendez for taking a chance and hiring me. He gave me my first job as a teacher at right. Key West High, and I spent 17 years at Key West High, 8 years as an assistant principal. And so I'm just so honored and blessed. But I want to congratulate Principal Amber Acevedo for all of her accomplishments in her 9 years of tenure, and just an incredible shout out to the teachers and staff who have been recognized as 2 years in a row an A school. And so I hope to carry on just the tremendous efforts and work. I mean, that's a huge, a huge recognition. And so I just want to build on the greatness that's there. And, one of my, strengths, I think, is relationship building. I love my students, and, that's what I hope to take into Key West High, is just my love for families and my community, and I'm encouraged that we're just going to come out of this stronger. I think that this is going to be an opportunity to jumpstart the school year with increased, school spirit. I love driving around town, and as I walk in the evenings, seeing the different houses where it has the graduates,
that's awesome.
Billboards. I mean, I want to see that year wide, year round, and so it's just been a great opportunity.
So see, me and you started on a good page there, because I always say we can't have enough school spirit. We Friday night lights down here. We've been Friday night lights for a long time. I'm gonna tell you something also. Miss Acevedo was happy as pie that you are going to be taking over, and she said she left it in good hands. So she was very happy with that. She did very well. We wish her well with her further endeavors. And like I said, it's very exciting when you basically take over your school when you was a kid, and now you're actually the boss. So that's awesome. Let me ask you something. What is your vision for Key West High School from this point on?
As I said, they've built it into a great school, but I think that the enthusiasm of the students getting to be back in the building and engage with one another and with their school community, whether that includes taking the AP courses, and I want to look at exploring some career and technical offerings in terms of cosmetology, marine mechanics, fashion design, and hospitality. I think it's a time where we need to look to to how can we rebuild our community, and hospitality is definitely going to need that shot in the arm.
Gotcha.
And so I think that utilizing our students in pre-apprenticeship positions to be able to support our, eventually the opening back of our community will be an important part of starting this school year.
Gotcha. Okay. So my next question is, and feel free if you have a question, right now will be the time to ask questions. We're going to take as many questions as we can, and make sure you turn notifications on, and make sure you check out my YouTube channel. Thank you all again for tuning in. We're on here Monday through Friday, 6:45. Tomorrow, good old boy Andy Griffith's coming in from the school board, so we're going to see what he's talking about, see what's happening out there in Tallahassee. So my question is, we talked a little bit off camera about what great programs you build over there for basketball and football coming out of them HOB Buccaneers. I mean, you guys doing big things down there. So I think, like you said, this is a feeder program going into Key West High School. So my question is, what should be the goal for a coach at Key West High School? What would you tell a coach there at Key West High School? What should their goal be for their team and in general?
I think that the role of the coach is similar to a role of a father. We just recently had Mother's Day, and you don't have to be a mother physically to be a mother of many, Mm-hmm. So I think that the responsibility of a coach is to be that mm-hmm. father figure to the students and building them, not only in terms of their athletic abilities, but in terms of attributes and qualities of building a strong character and the values that a father can instill, a coach can instill, and those are lifelong legacies. I had a great mentor, John Welsh, who taught me so much, and so those are the relationships that we're talking about. You can save somebody's life, as a coach.
No doubt. And also shout out to Mr. Welsh. He was my dean. Shout out to Pedro Fraga, was my coach. I mean, this is just stuff that you take with you. And as you know, we bleed red and gray. At Key West or whatever, this is something special. And, we take stuff serious out here. We got 11 state championships. We're trying to get to 12, one step at a time. So, like I said, we just got to keep it moving. So we touched a little bit about this, but I'm just going to ask you this. What are your plans to boost school spirit at Key West High School?
I think, one of my first jobs at Key West High that I was given, Dr. Heron allowed me to have the opportunity to be the student activities director. It was one of the funnest jobs I've ever had, taking students to grad night, Operation Graduation, the dances. Yeah. And so I want to look at, getting feedback from the students. When I was a student at Key West High, after the football games, we went back to the high school. We had dances. Yeah. And so I think that because of the situation that we've all gone through recently, I think that people are going to be, wanting to do some of the things that we used to do. So I'd like to see if the students are willing to want to, after get that high school spirit and engagement back in terms of, because they've been isolated for so many months right now. And so I think it's a great opportunity to build momentum. I mean, and I hope that the building opens in August and the seniors come in, the incoming seniors come in with their big splash. I love watching. I mean, that doesn't happen in every community where the seniors, and in other classes come in, strong, and it's just a blessing of our community.
So let me ask you a question. For example, to boost school spirit, back in the day, we could have some activities, let's say, during school hours. So now, as you know, we have a big rivalry, let's say, in basketball with the Marathon Dolphins. And we've worked on this even with Amber, on Amber's Watch or whatever, to try to see if we could get, an activity where Key West would play Marathon during school hours, because I think this would boost, school spirit to the ceiling. So do you think that could be possible under your watch? Can we do such a thing, and maybe with other teams or whatever? Because I know when I was in school, that was the funnest time of my life or whatever, and that really brought school spirit to the maximum. Can we do this in 2021? Is there a mechanism to do such a thing?
Well, I think hopefully we'll be allowed to run athletic programs with certain parameters moving forward. I know everybody wants to hit the ground running. And so I think that, with the challenge that we've all had to go through, not only statewide but nationally, I think that you're going to see some flexibility in terms of, maybe changing the way we do things. And so, with the district's, leadership and looking at the rules of FHSAA, I think it would be, just a way of looking and seeing if we could do something of that nature, because it was such a popular event when I was there as well.
So you say it's possible. We just have to look into it and see if it makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Now this is very, very serious because I'm in the entertainment field, right? And we take security very serious. I mean, we basically, in our events, especially our big events, we have people that won. If you go in and out of the club 9 times, we won you 9 times. And we're really serious about that because living in Key West, we're in paradise. So people get complacent sometimes and think that something can't happen here, which I think we're very vulnerable because, we don't have the strong stuff that other people are looking for, like in New York or whatever. So these were, terrorists and people are looking to take advantage of. So what extra security steps will you take to protect students at Key West High School other than what we have now? If anything.
Well, Key West High is slated for a security improvement, and Principal Acevedo has been working with the school district to work on that. But I think that probably now, over the course of my career as an educator, that's probably one of the most significant changes. That is our top priority. My team, all the teachers' teams, they are challenged every day that safety and security is the paramount, important issue. So you can't let your guard down, And so everyone is vulnerable. And so, we just have to have that heightened sense of urgency as we start every day and just be cognizant of our surroundings. And our students do an incredible job of seeing something, saying something. And I think it's important to continue to keep that, open communication with the students because they are, right there on the ground. And
also the partnership with law enforcement is critical. And I spoke to Deputy Chief Captain Torres, and there's a policy that's I think is great policy. So when you have a resource officer at a school, they cannot be taken away from that school during the school hours for no circumstances whatsoever. So that means the whole time they got to be there. So the department can't call them off. I didn't know that. I think this is great or whatever because, like I said, the main thing I would say too is, and this is very important for some of y'all kids watching and some of y'all youngsters, don't think that you're doing anything wrong if you have to go tell an adult about a situation. If you think there's something that's going on, just for thinking about it, you need to tell somebody because maybe 50 of those things don't come to fruition and the one can. So if you have something, please, bring that forward and don't think you're going to be a snitch or anything like that because you could save a lot of lives with this or whatever. Because the last thing we want to do is have a security breach here at Key West High School. This will kill the whole spirit of the whole city.
Well, and I would like to add that May is the month for mental health awareness, and I think that it's so important in our community. Having experienced a personal tragedy in my own family as well, that we recognize that the first steps in taking care of our community and one another is mental health. And especially during this time that we're all facing, that the students need to be able to recognize the times where their friends may be depressed or struggling and identify and reach out to them and then get them the help that they need. And so I think, mental health is the first step.
Yes. All right. Tangela Edwards is on the production today. Tangela, we're going to take some of these comments and stuff. You want to come around this way and you can read some of them. So we're going to give a little bit of shout out here. So let's see who we got going on. Well, we got a state champ there. Joey Gandolf checking in. 84 state champ. Let me see who else we got here. Louie, we checked in. James over there from the Perry. Tanya Lito. Let's not forget living with the Litos, aka Fun Fact. Okay, that's
that is true.
Yeah. Okay, let's see who else we got. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to, Ms. Christina? This will be the time. Nina Gonzalez is checking in. Pamela, Thank you. Pamela's on the show every day. She don't miss a show. Thank you, Miss Pamela. I want to be clear now. I know you're going to ask me about the mask. I got the mask right here. The issue is when you're talking to the mask or whatever, it gets difficult, but I do have it. Thank you. Mona checking in. Mona, I'm sorry. Ashley. OT, you know a guy named OT? Orient Thursday was serious on that basketball court in 1986. So I heard you came out of a special class. They like the Stevie B. Can you talk about your little reunion? You got a reunion coming up. You were just talking about. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
I hope we get to have a reunion. Class of 1990, outstanding class. We went to grad night and Stevie B was there. And at our last reunion, we had a group reunion. It was a great opportunity, and so. We have a great class, and hopefully we'll get to be able to gather together sometime soon. I do want to invite community members, to reach out to me because I do want to engage the community. We have so many wonderful people that I want to invite into Key West High School to be able to share the wealth. The Roosevelt Sands, the Glenwood Lopez's, great history and legacy that they bring to our community. And just wonderful people that have that depth of knowledge of our community. Carmen Turner, I just want to be able to bring them in and be able to be role models to our students.
And in my business, the more people that come in and can help you with stuff, especially with people volunteering for kids, I think you accept the help because like that, it takes a lot of people to move mountains. So the more people that you have, the better it is. Look, young lady was a homecoming queen. I see her today. Good old Lydia Blanco Estenos, 1986 homecoming queen. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see what we got here. William Gonzalez, I want to congratulate you, Christina McPherson, for becoming the next upcoming principal at Key West High School. As an alumni myself with the class of 1994. My question to you is, let's see. Let me see, has taken class 20. Okay, so my question to you is now that the city of Marathon has voted on taking on the class of 2020 for Marathon High School, how do you think Key West will move on, in what direction? So I guess basically what happened, they had the city council vote unanimously up there in Marathon today. It just happened when we was on camera that basically they want a physical graduation. I believe they're going to have it in the amphitheater up there, and that was voted unanimously. So I guess you could answer the question of what Willie Gonzalez said. How do you think that would affect now Key West? What's your opinion?
So I know that the school district and the superintendent's directive at this point was that we were to all schedule virtual recognition programs and graduations, and I think that, eventually the class of 2020, and I'm just sad for them, in terms of
it's tough.
It's rough, and so, but I do think that eventually that there'll be a face-to-face graduation once the city is open back up and the health parameters are set. I think that eventually that there will be a graduation. It's just
we take it day by day,
yes.
Day by day. Okay. Mm-hmm. And special shout out to class of 2020. You guys are going to do incredible things, and we're sorry this is out of our control. As usually we could control mostly everything down here, but this was one that we could not control. I call it a category 6. I still say we're in a movie. Every day you wake up and this is really going on, but we're still in it. But you know what? We've done very well because the amount of cases that we have, we're able to contain. And we got a lot of people with brilliant minds trying to, work together and do what's best for everybody. Like today, we was talking a little bit about Ed Swift had some people come out today, and they wanted to see, the keys open back up. And, it's freedom of speech, and people have opinions. There's a lot of people, like in the industry for service, for example, we haven't worked since March 17th. There's a lot of people who haven't missed a check at all. So it's tough. And the money that the government give you, that don't last a long time, and then we're going on an extensive amount of time and being out of work or whatever. So nobody wants to die, obviously, and nobody wants to put anybody at risk. But we got to come up with something because, unfortunately, I don't think the city and the county could be shut down for 18 months and without collapse. So we got to do the best we can with what we got. Unfortunately, this is what it is. Let's see. Lydia says, thank you for putting information about the mental health. There's Kelly, this young lady?
Kelly Lanier, yes.
Okay.
She's the AP.
Okay, nice. Another congratulations there. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's take one from Lydia. Christina, share what might be your top 3 issues that you want to see our community wrap around the school with what's going on priority radar.
I think the first thing is prioritizing getting the students back into the building and supporting, our return. And then just collectively coming to, I've been to a couple of the pep rallies throughout the years as my children have come up through, and it's, just wonderful to see the parents and community members that come in to support the families. And I think, that we need to engage an entire community. We're struggling, as a whole, and our parents right now and families are struggling more than ever before. And in order to create a sustainable workforce in our city and county, I think we need to come in and support our families. And that would be my top priority. Number 1 is supporting our families, parents, and students at coming back into the schools when we're authorized to, and then looking at a new way of rebuilding Key West. And
Outstanding. And Christina, I thank you for being on the show. And also what I like to conclude with is that some of you people that basically have lost touch with Key West High School, right? For whatever reason, we need to come together as conks and do what's best for children. Because sometimes adults have issues or whatever, right? This is just human life. We're all human. But we got to do what's best for kids. So I like to see everybody as alumni. If you played basketball, I like to see you come to a basketball game. If you was, a conk supporter, see, like me, I don't have a kid in the program. Like I told you off camera, I've been going since I played in the 80s all the way through or whatever to support children. So if you played in that program, we'd love to see you when your kid is there, but we also want you to come back. And the lady said, reach out to her on anything that you need, you want to help with. She's open for suggestion. This is what it's about. I think that's a great position to take. And like I said, at the end of the day, we want to do the best we can, and we want to have the best schools, not only in the nation, worldwide. That should be the goal. Don't think because Key West, we have a population of 26,000, we can't be the #1 school ever. Think bigger is what I would send a message. Any closing words out there to your people out there?
On Sunday I talked to some people, and there were 2 phrases that I left them with. And the first that I think that we all just need to remember, we need to have deep patience with one another, and kindness. And the second is brave love, that during this time, our community needs to look at the greater good for us coming back together as a community. And so that's going to take some pretty brave love.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time. Louie C. the Mayor, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. All love tomorrow. Like I said, Andy Griffith's going to be in the building. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and all love for everybody. We're going to get through this. Don't panic. Don't be scared. Ha!